Today, we're going to go through some doomed RuneScape settings, some things that you just want to avoid, things that you don't want to be using, and it's not necessarily just locked to settings, but things in game that using them is just going to make playing it a lot worse. And while I'm sure some of these are personal preference, some of them absolutely aren't and kind of make the game a hell of a lot better or worse depending if you're using them or not. Now, before moving on, just check this graph here, and if you aren't one of the people who are sub, but you find yourself watching many of the videos, then consider clicking the sub button, and then let's move to the video. Right, so we're going to start off with one that I think most people will agree on. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm sure many people will disagree with some of the ones in here, but this one's going to be the most agreeable. And that is going to be, as you can see here in this beautiful town with no roofs, is always having your roofs, remove roofs set to always, like always. Now, if you have this set to none, right? You have this set to none, it looks good. So if you need a screenshot, you want to do it for a thumbnail maybe, then this is the way to do it. Have your roofs on, the game looks, it does, I'll be honest, it looks really nice with all the roofs on, because it looks like how it's supposed to probably look. That being said, you can't even see what's in here. So if you don't have this set to selectively, when you go in, you still can't see. When you zoom in, like you can clearly tell this game is not designed for you to like play with the roofs always on, because that's the upstairs right there. I can see into this person's bedroom, and now there's no ceiling. So obviously this is designed to be done with either selectively or always off. Now selectively works nicely enough, it's fine, and this could be the way you prefer it, because now you get a mix of both, right? You have the roofs on over here, and that kind of looks good, right? Maybe Varroc's a little bit busy to show this with, but you know, the top of the castle's there, all this is there, and then even if you go out of the little room here, they do like pop on and off when you need them. However, there's a few issues to this as well. If you're doing a quest, for example, you need to go in this building, you click up, I just talk to the shop assistant, and then up, I just close the door. Like you can still struggle with getting into these houses a little bit, and it's a little bit frustrating and annoying when you have them on selectively as well. So, in my opinion, and I think in many people's opinions, and most people probably have this set to always. Having it off like this lets you see all the NPCs that are inside here, and if you're doing things like using a spinning wheel, I know this isn't a spinning wheel, but just for an example, if you're using things inside the building, you can access them nice and easy. The anvils in here, if you're running to and from the bank, you can always see the anvils that you want to use. You can see the shopkeepers, you can see everything that you may want to do before you actually get in there. It's way more efficient, it is less frustrating, and yes, you may lose a little bit of immersion by not having the beautiful roofs on, but you kind of forget that they even exist once you've been playing like this for a little while. So remove those roofs, have it set to always, unless you need a screenshot, of course, in which case, yeah, it can look better with the roofs on, especially places like this in the castle, because once you remove the roofs, the castle looks kind of not like a castle, I suppose. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do we mostly agree on this one? Let me know in the comments if you disagree and why, actually. Okay, maybe we didn't all agree on that one. I think we will do, but we should all be able to agree on this next one. And that is going to be allowing Jagex to set up your action bars. Now, there's an option in this for you to go to a blank action bar here. And then on your settings option, your combat settings, if you right click this, auto setup action bar. Now, don't get me wrong, for someone who is brand new to the game, maybe this could be useful because you don't know what these abilities do. But to be fair, I think even then you could probably, in my opinion, look at your abilities, spend a little bit of time reading them, which would also be a benefit to you anyway, because then you know what the abilities are. In fact, this is even a stronger point of what I'm saying here. You want to know what the abilities are anyway, so you read them and you go, oh look, that does this. Stuns and binds the target, so I'll put that on here. Then you look at this and you go, oh look, damage is increased by 30% if the target is stunned or bound. Well, that's great to use after that, so let's put this here, and then you know to use impact, and then you know to use rack afterwards, right? So you learn these things by reading them. However, auto setup action bar, let's clear this one, is something that just doesn't really do all that great. Like what the frick is this? Jagex? What is this for? What? Dragon Breath, Greater Sunshine, Wild Magic, Sonic Wave, Corruption Blast, Asphyxiate, Combust, Impact. Okay, look, they've got Impact and Rack. Good, nice. The rest of this, I have no idea what order this is in. Now, they also automatically have Revolution set on for this game. So, I mean, I don't have any runes, but this is not exactly the world's best action bar for Revolution either. So, in my opinion, never, ever bother using the auto setup action bar. The best thing you can do for newer players, if you're thinking, well, I don't know what they do, I want some help, is head to the RuneScape wiki, which you have down here, by the way, and then just look up recommended action bars and just copy one from there. It's probably a better way to do it for sure. Or look up a YouTube guide or something like that. You definitely find something better than these auto action bars, man. Like it is not ideal at all. Okay, look, this is one that I actually just found, and this depends. This one depends. But in my opinion, you don't want to be doing this, right? Now, if you look at this, I talked to the banker. You get your little text box here. It's nice and easy to read. You got the contrast of the black text on the parchment paper background. You get the banker's little head, and it's nice and placed in the middle, or wherever you want to place it, because you can actually go into edit layout mode, advanced option, scroll down to game dialogue, and you can move it around, right? Like, not the buff bar, oops. And you can move this around. Yeah, you can move this wherever you want. If you want over here, you want over here, wherever. So you can do that. However, there's another option that I just found before while looking for this video, and yeah, it's something that I find a little bit, I don't know, I guess it has some use for some people, but let's just have a look. If you go here and press use full screen dialog boxes, when you talk to somebody, you get this. Now it looks okay because it has the little blurred thing, and then it has good day, how may I help you, but it's white. Now, for me, this overlaps with some of my defense abilities here, and also stops me from rotating my camera, which is a little bit annoying. And then you get the head over here in the corner. To me, this is terrible and looks absolutely, oh no. And the fact that it doesn't have an opaque background, and you can still see all of your other, like, interface stuff, it kind of clashes a little bit, in my opinion. This could be useful, though, for people who maybe have struggle, like, reading the smaller text, so then you have bigger text like this. That'd be kind of good, but I feel like you need to be able to have this background here more opaque, like, so you can actually see a contrast. Because if you did have anything white behind here, and most people will have their user interface down here. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play with the interface at the top or the side or something. Like, people use the sides, but like specifically the side, I don't know. Maybe I'll do my next stream with my interface right at the top so that people are like, what are you doing? But to me, this looks a little bit like, and this here, I don't know, man. I prefer it by far to have it set so that you don't use full screen dialog boxes. This just, to me, is so much better, so much better. I suppose, like I said, if you struggle to read the small text, the other way is helpful. But what do you guys use? How do you guys play this? What do you guys think? Is this something that is doomed or not doomed? Let me know. For this next one, we're going to be heading to Port Sarim. For those of you that have already clocked what I'm going to be talking about here, this is really not that big of a deal. It really isn't, and it's just me nitpicking here and trying to add another part to the video. But when I pay fare here, it'll cost me 30 coins. Not a problem. Let's go. Yes, please. Off we pop. Now you'll notice that, boom, I am here. That was quick. That was nice and fast, and I have arrived. Beautiful. Those little fade in and out there. However, I believe the default option for this in the actual thing is to not skip the boat cutscenes. Now, all well and good if you like, but my immersion, I need to have the immersion. But for you to not have these skipped when you go here and you actually, you know, take a boat trip to anywhere, you'll notice that in fact what happens is you get this beautiful, absolutely awesome time. That took a long time to go from black screen to this, just so we can see absolutely nothing except your character and a seagull. Just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you really want that immersion, then I guess that makes sense. But to me, just have them skip, man. This is such a crazy thing. The thing doesn't even look good. The skip scene doesn't look great. What is that seagull doing, bro? What are you doing? It's not how flying works. Where's he gone? I was trying to catch him out, but he's gone. Damn. The seagull is not real. The seagull is absolute. It is gone. Now again, this next one isn't huge, but it's a setting that I don't think really needs to exist. And that is because you go into settings and then go down to combat and action bar. And in combat mode, there is an option that says show HUD combat or HUD combat mode icon. Now for me, this is this here, right? And I mean, you could place it better for sure. Let me quickly do that. Combat mode icon. There we go. We got it. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Took a little bit of time, but we got it. Save and exit. Save. Beautiful. Look at this. So you could have this wherever you wanted, but all this does is allow you to change between combat mode full manual and combat mode revolution. And it's just like, you can't just left click it. You have to right click this, as you can see. You can right click it revolution, right click it full manual. However, we have this beautiful little thing here called combat settings, which you can right click and press full manual, and right click and press revolution. This thing does exactly the same thing as this, but it doesn't take up your screen. If you have this floating around, which I believe it is default, take it off. It's just annoying and pointless, and it has no value. And I don't know if it ever had value and they just didn't remove it, but right now, get it off your screen. There is no reason for it to be there, especially if it's in something overlapping on other things as well. Again, it's not insanely important, but get rid of it. It is doomed to hell. And this next one is one I actually talked about making sure you do have enabled in a past video, and I stand by it, but there's a reason being. Now, what we're going to do in this one is talk about it, but in the opposite way. We're going to go down to camera, and we're going to look at camera mode. Now, it is doomed or not good to use modern or classic. You can use either of these. The style doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. However, you'll notice this is my max zoom out distance using modern or classic. What you want to be using instead is the freedom versions of these. The freedom version is just modern, but with freedom. Then you have freedom classic, which is the classic version of freedom, which allows you to zoom out way further and get a good, nice view of the game in comparison to before. Let's see this awesome bird up here, which is just flapping around all over the place. Goodbye, eagle. Oh, it's coming back. Anyway, distracted way too easy, but it lets you get a better view of things, which is super helpful in certain places actually, such as specific boss fights like the Glacier. So if you're not using this camera setting and you want to have better like view range, you can absolutely set this to freedom or freedom classic, which will have different sort of things like the surge differences, how quick it follows your camera and whatnot. But otherwise, give yourself more control over the game and allow yourself to zoom out like this. There's no reason not to, because you can always still just stop wherever you want to stop at. But if you ever have a use to zoom right out, you can see everything straight away. And it does make a bit of a difference. It really does. And then finally, we're just going to allow you to add something or disable something actually, because you don't want to have it on, to stop yourself from maybe one day, possibly if something comes into the game and if someone finds a way past all the safeties that Jagex have now added, to stop you from getting kind of screwed over and getting killed in the wilderness. As you can see, I am safely in now. Of course, wilderness is now safe, so it's not a big deal, but there is always the risk that people find bugs or ways around Jagex's little safety protection things, which happens all the time. Go into settings, go down to chat and social, and accept aid. Now, in accept aid, it's fine to keep this on, and in fact, I suggest to people that they do keep it on, especially if you're getting into PVM, and especially if you're going to do PVM with higher level players or higher like skilled players that are going to be helping you and teaching you stuff, because of the fact that lunar spells and stuff like that allow them to use things like the intercept spell, so they take all the damage that you would have taken instead of you, and they can keep you alive in certain places, also healing you and other things like that. Now, one thing you don't want to have, because it is totally doomed and useless unless you know someone you can trust and whatnot specific, don't have it anyway, I've never had a use for this ever, is the tele other. Tele other allows people to teleport you to other places, many of those being the wilderness, going places like over here to the ice area of the wilderness here, and other places like that. You don't want this, because if for some reason they manage to trick you into turning off your wilderness safety, or find a way that for some reason when you get teleported there it doesn't work because Jagex changed something in, like, I don't know, the animation of this sword, so then now safety of wilderness doesn't work because that's the way the spaghetti code works in this game. Who knows? It is safer to just make sure that you don't have the option to be teleported by other players. Because one, why? Why would you want to be teleported by other players? It's just not worth the risk. So have that on for accept aid, sure, but tell the other, have it to nobody. Even friends in the clan, don't. Just have it to nobody, because you never know. Someone that you thought you could trust may just one day decide, you know what, that party hat on your head looking kind of nice. There's a bug in game right now. Let me just yoink that from you. And unless you specifically need to use it, then you can turn it back on, use it, turn it back off again after that, and only do it with somebody that you trust. You don't want to be getting teleported and losing your super expensive staff, you know? Anyway, that's the last one for this video. So I hope you found it useful or enjoyable or anything like that. Leave a like if you did, sub to the channel if you are new, and I am going to be starting a new series soon, so keep an eye out for that too, and that'll be up soon. So catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.